enlisting the help of TIMA members, a Rohingya refugee in Myanmar gets facial reconstructive surgery for free. We take a look at the cost and effectiveness of building Taiwan's light rail systems through our in-depth report. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shoda. Thank you for joining us. It's been over a week since the massive earthquake happened in central Philippines. And although residents have been moved to temporary shelters, their timeline of moving back home is still unknown. Tzu Chi has been giving the residents emotional and spiritual support to help ease their distress during this time.
Dili. Nindagad kayo uli para na privacy ba.
This quake victim expresses the sentiment many of the emergency shelter residents feel. They have been at the basketball court for over 6 days, 131 people cramped in such tight quarters. Over a dozen Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at the shelter, bringing with them rice, blankets, and clean secondhand clothes. Everyone quickly goes through their bag of clothing and try things on.
It's great to receive these clothes. Although it's secondhand, the quality is good. It's very useful for us.
We are here at DF Mejia, where 143 residents from Lake Danao are taking shelter. They have lived here for about a week and are still waiting on word from the government about their next step. Tzu Chi volunteers have arrived for the second time to distribute aid items, this time bringing with them emotional and spiritual support.
We want to help these Lake Danao quake victims. We're here to support them emotionally. In total, there are 42 adult volunteers and 20 young volunteers. Together, we can help them.
In post-quake relief, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to emotionally uplift the victim's spirit during this distressing time. Next, let's see how the local charity organizations and government official has responded to the quake relief efforts in Ormoc. Quake victims in the Philippines are still living in temporary shelters where there is no electricity. They rely on wood to make fire to cook food.
We are miserable because we're not used to this type of living condition.
The bamboo used to secure the tent isn't stable and it must be checked and repaired periodically. After the scope of the disaster got out, many non-profit organizations extended a hand to the victims.
A lot of the families here.
There are many children here, and when families use kerosene or gas to light the way, it's quite dangerous and might start a fire. So this is much safer.
The solar-powered lights are useful. This place is dark at night. We really need light sources.
Meanwhile, another group has also donated some water filters for the quake victims.
Very simple technology. It screws onto a Coke bottle or onto a water bag that we actually provide with it. And they simply squeeze the bottle, squeeze the bag, drink the water from the other side.
The local city council has come with cookware and dried goods.
We want them to know that somebody is thinking about them and somebody is doing their best to help them.
The Jingsu folding beds from Tzu Chi ensures the residents don't have to sleep on the wet, damp floor anymore. A hug is worth more than its weight in gold, as local volunteers who were affected by Typhoon Haiyan know full well the difficulties their fellow countrymen are going through. In Malaysia, there is a Rohingya refugee from Myanmar who has a son with oral facial cleft. Without the money to treat his son, he turned to Doctors Without Borders for help. Doctors Without Borders then contacted UNHCR, who referred the case to TIMA. Finally, TIMA found a doctor who is willing to perform the surgery for free.
A Rohingya refugee from Myanmar, Yakut, has brought his 2-year-old son with an orofacial cleft to the hospital to undergo reconstructive surgery. He has waited for 2 years before TIMA helped him find a doctor who is willing to perform this surgery for free.
He is a refugee who does not have the money to treat his child. When the child was almost 2, Doctors Without Borders referred this case to UNHCR, and then its medical department contacted TIMA.
On the day of the surgery, Tzu Chi volunteers accompany Liako and his wife, as well as prepare lunch for them.
His mother is very worried. After we talked with her, we calmed her mind and she's very happy.
Seeing their child finish the first stage reconstructive surgery, Liako and his wife finally smile.
Tzu Chi has helped me a lot. They pick me up and drive me back every day. They've helped me a lot. I won't forget what they've done for us.
When helping people who are from different societies, I think that is more important on a global scale. I think on an international level, that is very important because we are crossing communities and crossing boundaries. So I think it's definitely has been a very positive experience for me working with the Tzu Chi group.
Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' assistance, Liako now has the confidence to face the long journey of medical treatment for his son.
For many people, consuming iced drinks is something they enjoy doing in the hot summer. However, too much of the wrong cold beverages can actually harm our health. How can we quench our thirst and stay healthy? Let's find out in our next report.
While people may enjoy drinking cold vegetable and fruit juice in the summer, the concentrated juices in store-bought Tetra Paks actually contain much syrup and additive. In order to consume and absorb the nutrients in fruit, people should choose small cups of unfiltered fresh juice without sugar.
Try our best to choose unfiltered vegetable and fruit juice so you can get its fibers. For instance, they might use 4 oranges to make 1 cup of orange juice, but we usually do not eat that much fruit. Therefore, we might consume too much calories and sugar when we drink vegetable and fruit juice.
To ensure we do not consume too much sugar, we should carefully choose the kind of juice we drink.
Try not to choose drinks that taste sour. For instance, in making passion fruit juice or yogurt drinks, they might add a lot of sugar in order for them to taste sweet. Compared to drinks that are naturally sweet, these drinks contain more sugar.
Plain water is the best choice to replenish fluid in human bodies. For dialysis patients who cannot consume too much water, there are some tips.
You can add a few drops of lemon juice to the water so it has some taste. For some dialysis patients whose blood pressure might decrease after dialysis treatment, we suggest they can drink plum juice to maintain regular blood pressure levels.
For those who consume cold drinks, Chinese medicine doctors recommend some natural drinks that help decrease body heat.
They can drink bitter gourd tea, which can clear out our heart heat and decrease our blood lipids and blood sugar. In addition, watermelon juice, mung bean and Job's tear soup, and lily and lotus seed soup can all decrease our body heat.
Doctors advise people avoid consuming cold beverages right after sweating or coming back from outdoors. They suggest people keep the drink in their mouth for a while before drinking it, so the drink temperature will be close to that of our bodies.
Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers in Kaohsiung took a day to help a family of 5 in Fengshan clean up their home. The homeowner is sick and cannot take care of the cleaning, while his wife and children are all mentally disabled. Slowly, the clutter piled up to where it has become a health hazard. After obtaining permission from Mr. Shi himself, the borough head asked Tzu Chi volunteers for some assistance. Inside this cluttered home where clothes are piled high like a mountain, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to help clean up. But they must first determine what is recyclable and what is trash. Over 30 people are helping with no distinction between tasks for females or males. There are 5 people in the Shi family. The wife and 3 children all have mental disabilities. While Mr. Shi is ill, unable to take care of the cleaning, the clutter and mess have collected over the years and it's become a health hazard for everyone. Thus, the local borough head asked Tzu Chi for help.
We discovered this family really has tons of items stacked up. In many areas, it's hard for a person to pass through.
It's not only the clutter that's worrying, even the furniture is damaged. After getting rid of the termite, it's the cockroach's turn. After a hard day's work, this home is transformed. Tzu Chi volunteers begin to paint the home and move in new furniture for the family.
It looks nice, very clean, not like how it was before.
With a clean home, their hearts are seemingly cleansed as well. Mr. Shi can finally rest in knowing his family is well taken care of. Taiwan's rush to build light rail and MRT systems across the country has mobilized municipalities such as Keelung, Changhua, Hsinchu, and Miaoli to draft related plans. However, the cost for each kilometer of MRT is estimated at $164.4 million, with light rail costing between $33 to $49 million. Experts also warn that operating such systems may be even more difficult, as follow-up maintenance can be quite difficult. For this reason, some are warning municipalities to carefully assess all of the conditions before undertaking such an initiative.
On July 4, 2016, Taiwan's first light rail train was inaugurated in Kaohsiung City. The line used the original Taiwan Railway Harbor Line, which was covered over to light rail, attracting the interest of many out-of-town tourists.
Taiwan didn't seem to have such a railway, so it's the first time and it feels quite fresh, so I wanted to come here and try it.
After getting on the MRT, we were soon there, so it is quite convenient.
Kaohsiung's light rail gets priority at main traffic intersections, leading some motorists to wait longer at traffic lights, as many Kaohsiung citizens are still struggling to adapt.
It's a little bit more chaotic. It may be possible for people who don't live here to be confused and unfamiliar with the signal system.
Do I sometimes see people against the traffic signal? Sometimes this does happen. Just one or two vehicles. Actually, when it passed, one person just went through.
Since the inauguration of the light rail till now, there have been 5 traffic accidents. From June of last year till February this year, there have been a total of 2,512 tickets issued, all violating right-of-way. However, now, Kaohsiung's light rail must stop at red lights.
Because the light rail is only recently operational, during this stage, many may be unfamiliar with what to do at road intersections, so we are still in the trial stage.
Comparing the MRT with the light rail can only transport less than 5,000 people per hour, while the MRT can transport 20,000 per hour. The travel speed of the light rail averages 50 kilometers per hour, which is far less than the 70 kilometers per hour of the MRT. But the cost of the light rail is $33 to $49 million per kilometer, while the MRT is $164.4 million per kilometer.
Foreign countries who do light rail don't have it on all streets, and going into rural areas can be quite risky, as many don't think this is good public policy.
The Kaohsiung MRT, for example, has annual operating costs of about $65 million, which translates into daily operating expenses of $178,000. With an average ticket costing more than 50 cents, MRT would need some 270,000 round-trip passengers. At the moment, it is averaging just 180,000 people a day, meaning that it has to be dependent upon other revenue sources.
To increase our company's revenue, land development is very important for us, and we're also technical advisors as we operate the Kaohsiung City Government and Pingtung County Government Public Bicycle Program.
Developing and maintaining a light rail system is difficult. If the government helps you develop it, will the local government be able to afford its continued operations? In the course of such operations, there will be some costs generated, though whether or not affiliated business income will be enough to cover these costs. I believe that having such a plan would enable more people to be convinced about moving forward with such a plan.
Track construction is not only expensive, but so is follow-up maintenance. Early this year, the Kaohsiung light rails suffered low passenger volume. Peak rush hour trains were canceled. Despite these challenges, many municipalities are still striving to build and operate such commuter trains, though they must all face the challenge of proving that such investment is ultimately worth it.
A woman surnamed Chen in Miaoli's Holong Township became lost up in the mountains when she went to clean a gravesite. She called for help and the police and fire department immediately responded. Unfortunately, she also set fire to expose her location, requiring firefighters to get the brush fire under control before they were able to rescue her at last.
Looking for a lost person suddenly turns into a fire rescue operation as Holong Township's Gong Si Liao Shan saw nearly 2 hectares of woodland go up in flames. 50-year-old Mrs. Chen was finally rescued, and many suspect she was the one behind the fire.
I never heard back from them, and then I said that I would build fire a little higher.
This woman called out for help as she went to clean a grave in the mountains. Her calls for help alerted police and fire rescuers, who moved to within 100 meters of her position when she suddenly ignited a huge fire to eliminate her location. She didn't think it would set off this big forest fire. This elderly woman was surrounded by dense weeds, though she never thought that this ancient practice of sending out a smoke signal would put her life at risk.
You can use bright clothes and hold it high in the air to attract attention to your location.
Holding clothing up in the air is much safer than holding a torch. As long as your phone has a charge, and even if there's no signal, one can call 112 for help. One is also asked to be precise about giving instruction.
What I can see now is a large black water tank in front of me. Next to it is what looks like a large banana tree. After 30 minutes, I'll turn the phone on again and try to keep in contact.
Whether it is a rescue on the plains or at high altitude or in the mountains, one should figure out a way to make oneself easily visible.
When lost in the mountains, one key is to allow your rescuers to find you as soon as possible. One should learn how to use small items like this little mirror, which can be opened to reflect the sun and potentially signal a helicopter.
This small mirror or a flashlight can come in very handy to determining your location. Also, one can make signs indicating your location, as it is best to make sure to keep warm and have enough food and water to await a rescue team.
73-year-old Xu Fusheng only graduated from a junior high school, but in his golden years, he was able to continue his studies at the Changtai School for the Elderly. On July 11th, he was admitted to the palliative care ward of Dalian City Hospital. To fulfill his wish of participating in a graduation ceremony, the school held a special ceremony for him at the hospital.
Xu Fusheng is 73 years old, but he is diligent in studying, and he shouts slogans louder than everybody else. He is also the navigator for his teacher.
While we were in the car, he'd chit-chat with me and tell me which elderly lives where. I always told him that if he was in my car, I wouldn't let him go home, because if he was not in my car, I wouldn't know where to go.
If his condition permitted, Grandpa Xu always came to school. However, his condition has been deteriorating for months, and he was admitted to the palliative care ward of Dalian City Hospital on July 11th. So the school and the hospital held a graduation ceremony for him.
Here is your graduation certificate. You've completed your studies. Congratulations.
After receiving the graduation certificate, Grandpa Xue has realized his dream, and on July 15th, he passed away in peace. We all prayed for him.
The last class of the term for the social education course by the Tzu Chi, New Jersey chapter was held recently, and the adult students shared what they've taken away from the term. And prior to Independence Day in the United States, the Tzu Chi Great Love Preschool in Los Angeles, California, arranged special activities for their students to celebrate the holiday.
The The children put colors on paper with paper reels. Then they use the straw to create changes. Then they use scissors to cut out their work. Tzu Grade Preschool arranges relevant events for the children to celebrate America's Independence Day. Their clothes have the red, white, and blue colors or have stars on them. The teachers teach them how to make jello so the children can enjoy making it. When they are tasting it, the colors of the flag are also there. The adults can also have much fun while learning things. At the annual final lesson of the social education class held by Tzu New Jersey chapter, all the students appreciate the work done by other people and also share with others their thoughts on reading the 近世 aphorisms.
We learn to move forward, to be tolerant, and to be grateful. So in our Chinese painting, you can sense that we've put the master's wisdom into our paintings. When you look at them, you can feel a sense of purity, gentleness, and harmony.
They have learned much in this class, so they appreciate to come to this class that can make them healthy physically and spiritually.
Tourism Authority of Thailand recently collaborated with Thailand Trade and Economic Office to hold a 3-day festival at Huashan 1914 Creative Park in Taipei, Taiwan. Students from the Chiangmai Tzu School in northern Thailand were also invited to teach participants to make traditional handicrafts.
Here at the Thai Festival 2017 in Taipei, children and adults can witness Muay Thai or Thai boxing, enjoy traditional Thai music, and make auspicious lanterns.
My children saw the dance performances. They didn't know Thailand because they have never been there before. Not until they attend this event did they get to know the country existed.
We tasted some food and beverage, such as Thai iced tea. My children really enjoy making the Thai knots and happy knots.
This year, nearly 50 booths